If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
All we're waiting on is our studio engineer to call us back. All you patient people that have been on Patreon listening, waiting for the Vin and Sori debut. Fear not! As soon as our engineer jumps on, we will be good to go. But you guys don't care about that right now. What you care about is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, brought to you by the big homie Gabe. You see that right there? That's Gabe.
The name of the song is Work This Time. Our DJ says, my streams aren't complete without at least one of these low resolution videos, right?
This is real.
In this case, a cell phone video.
Talk shit,
I
let's
love
go.
when lead guitarist Joey gets a chance to sing, and it's hilarious to me to see him rip that solo at the end wearing those shorts. Gabe, you're a funny person.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the dude, it's a relief, because I went in on my Middle America stuff. I went really in. The song is coming soon. Yeah, it is. I called the studio engineer today, actually.
Did you get a hold of him?
No.
Yeah.
He was on vacation, but he should be off of his vacation soon.
Yeah.
I wanna be able to play it to the homie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That'll be good. That'll be a good moment. Okay, guys, here we go.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, let's go. You're
all
cute.
Right. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Let's go. It's a surprisingly clear video, though.
Yeah, turn it so I can see.
I got you.
He's gonna rip it in those shorts.
He really is in shorts.
This is a little bit of an oldie, you know. But I'm going to dedicate it to my partner in crime, my partner Edith, her name is, and she's actually here tonight. So let's go on stage. Come on.
She's running away. Come back here, please. There you are. There you go. You know what?
Songs for you, baby. Songs for you, buddy.
I don't know how they could play still plugged in. I'd have to get one of those, Wi-Fi like receiver things. Because I'd be afraid I'd get my wires all, unplugged. I'm in the middle of rocking out and my wires all off. Blah,
yeah,
blah,
but
blah.
maybe the cord is more secure as far as making sure your sound doesn't cut out. More secure than it did before.
More secure. Or is this just more, I'm just going to make shit up on the fly?
I said maybe. I legit said maybe, bitch.
All right, here we go. from a cell phone. That man.
Yeah, but I thought that was still pretty clear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, for that to be on a cell phone, like guitar quality, like some of it is like, you know, having the money to have a really good, legitimate like sound system, but some of it is just being really proficient at your craft. Like, I know, like, the more that I'm playing, the more like I'm like, oh, that chord, that string, like, you want it perfect. You want all the notes perfect. You want them to ring out perfect, and it's if your technique is off, I'll tell you what. One thing I learned about guitar: if your technique is off, it duplicates and triplicates your work. You know, like you've got to have the good foundation of some really, really good technique. Otherwise, you're gonna end up paying the price like I've had to, and then you spend your waking hours at 4 or 5 in the morning trying to correct a scale that you thought you've had for years, and
oh, seriously, babe?
has been wrong.
How did you know it was wrong?
Because when I first saw it was wrong because I recognized the progression in a Neil song, and then I was like, oh, I forgot the name of it. The only one I remember is Dorian Mode for obvious reason, but like, you go and look and you're like, holy shit, I got that whole thing, but. Like, your technique is so important, especially when you're playing live. Like, in the studio, you know, you can make people make you sound good, but it's not like that in a live show. And obviously, LEM's point is good. Phones are pretty good for bootlegs these days. That is true. I bought I think it was a Fear Factory bootleg at Old Orchard Beach, actually, and it was horrible. But I loved it because you know how I am with live music. Yeah. Like, technology is so
What is a
ridiculous.
bootleg? Is that like it's basically a cut CD that's just I don't know what that is.
No, it was somebody took a camera to the show and recorded it.
Okay.
Like a physical camera, and then recorded the show, and then they would sell it. Hey, you can see Fear Factory live. This was before YouTube. You know, so Delaney's like, why would anybody buy that? Like, this is before YouTube. So if you wanted that, you get to see Fear Factory. Yeah. And it was something that that nobody else had because this specific guy had it. So so that was bootleg before, but now it's so much more. Somebody just did Woodstock and they remastered it up to 4K, and it's unbelievable. Really? I watched Korn's entire set again today. Because of the Netflix thing. I had no idea how emotional that was gonna make me. That made me so emotional. That first episode on Netflix when they were talking about Korn and like the effect that Korn had on everybody and things like that, like that was so emotional for me because I'm like, damn, like my boys did that shit, bro. All right. Okay, so here are the lyrics, which is really interesting, especially...
Wait, babe, here's something silly. Did you notice the, what do they call that? Not the guard. The guy that's standing at the front of the stage.
Dude.
Security guy?
Dude, yeah.
Did you see what he looked like?
Yeah.
He looked like this homie, right?
He did. He looked like...
So, I'm like, yo!
That's his brother.
When we listen to the Idol song Colossus, if you look at the security guard that's in front of the stage,
he looks exactly like the bassist or the guitarist or something.
I was like, yo, it's the bassist.
But like, it's crazy to me, that guy, he doesn't sing a lot either. He doesn't sing, that guy, like, I think it said that's the only song one of the few songs where he actually but he could sing. His voice is buttery smooth.
I don't understand why he doesn't sing more. I have to say, lyrical content, I really don't know what the fuck's going on here. I really, really, really liked the song. And it's weird because I liked the words. I just didn't understand them really. When I thought I kind of understood, then I got a little confused again.
You liked the words, you just didn't understand them. That's interesting. That's fascinating. Yeah. That's fascinating. Okay.
Just the way, like, because it had like a sort of poetry to it, like, I knock hello, but I see that you've got hypothermia, so I place a block to stop the rot, and I hope that I can warm you up. So I don't know, what do you...
It looks like they're having a fight, and that she's cold. She's being cold to him.
I place a block to stop the rot? Okay.
He says, I knock hello, but I see that you've got hypothermia, which is a way of saying you're still mad at me, I think he's saying. Or you're still a cold, a person. So I place a block to stop the rot and hope that I can warm you up.
He should listen to that song I showed you last night.
Completely forgot it.
The mad one, like, it was like really chill. Like, I can't remember what they were saying. And then it was like, you're mad.
Oh, you big mad. You big mad.
Big mad.
Oh, yeah, so I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I can't argue with you.
I can't argue with you.
Big mad.
Okay. So, do I have to shake you, babe, until you're blind? What's that? Like...
Because the next line is, because every light bulb's gone and I'm feeling so inclined. So, you know how you say the light bulb goes off? It's like, I get it. So I think he's saying is like, you're not understanding what I'm saying, or you're not seeing my point, or whatever. So do I have to shake you till you're blind? Which is a very interesting line for a man to say to a woman, especially considering he brought his girl out for the show. But I don't think he means it literally. He's just talking about... He's just talking about the frustration in relationships, I think. Where it's like, the person's being cold to you, you're trying to figure out a way to get back into good graces, the person's not feeling it. And then he says, can never lay my whole head down. I know I'm lazy, baby, but I will work this time. Like, I think he's pledging to work on himself.
Oh.
Because...
I thought the homie was saying he was going to actually get a job this time. And I was like, you know what, that's one thing I really... I'm sorry if there's
like
anybody...
Like a literal job? Like a job?
Yeah,
like
I thought that she was mad at him because he wasn't working or something. Like, I didn't understand the mad coming from verse 1. I just assumed that when he was saying, like, I'm gonna work this time. Because I've known people that have been in relationships with guys that they don't work. They won't keep a job. Like, there's always a reason why they have to quit their job.
Uh-huh.
And, like, anytime...
Some people are just not...
Anytime I...
Go ahead.
Like, you play Madden. In my opinion, you play it a lot. Because my dad never played video games.
I play it every day. I try. I commit to myself to play Madden every day, but...
but if you didn't work and you played Madden that much, I would be very, very annoyed.
Sure.
I just couldn't...
I understand. I understand that.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
I understand that about you, and I know that about you. But I think everybody's like that. Like, if you take like the traditional gender roles, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. He's talking about, I think he's saying he's gonna work on himself. Like,
well, yeah. Once you said that, I thought that made sense. Yeah. Like,
I've seen conflicts with couples where the guy goes, "You're just too lazy to do the hard work that needs to be done to solve this problem." Whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is, like, our lighting is decent, but it washes your face a little bit.
Yeah.
So like everything's kind of like I'm getting like the real. So I looked at you and I was like, holy shit, she's so pretty. I was looking at you with the thing, and then I looked at you in real life. Holy shit, you're really fucking pretty, bro. Okay. Okay, so he says, I can never lay my whole head down. Okay. So I think that's like, she's stressing him out. She's always pointing out his personality flaws, so he can't get any rest.
Well, when he said, I know I'm lazy, but baby, I will work this time, that's what made me think that it was like a literal job.
Yeah.
When he said that can never lay my whole head down, I got that as he can't really chill when he's around her. Like, he can never really get that.
That's what I'm saying, because she's at the time pretty exacting. She's a cruel ruler.
Or maybe she's dealt with his bullshit for a long time. Like, wow, we don't know.
Well, obviously, but it's a dude code, so obviously I'm gonna support my brother. So she's got impossible standards to live up to.
Oh my gosh!
Which is funny. That's not the complaint in our relationship at all. Like this way, the complaint is that way, the other way. So you too should feel some co-belligerency with this guy.
Wait. Oh.
I put it in a bunch of codes so people can't figure it out.
Yeah, he did.
It's kind of funny that I live the poetry.
It's
kind of funny that I live the poetry I cannot write. But you, my beauty, shall be fixed forever, loosely in my heart.
See, I thought that was so beautifully put, but I didn't necessarily like... Okay, go ahead, explain.
Well, you will be fixed So that
Yeah,
sounds
fixed
like
means
it's
you're not going anywhere,
It sounds
yeah.
like it's permanent.
But then he says loosely.
Loosely in my heart.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's right, because the person you want to be for your significant other in your ideal self and the person you actually are in the real world are not the same.
Yeah.
So she's fixed loosely in his heart, right? Like,
yeah.
So that deals with that paradox of, like, obviously he'd love to be able to say, yep, you're fixed securely in my heart, but he knows realistically that that's not the case, because otherwise they probably wouldn't be having as much conflict as they do if she was. And obviously he's a rock star, so there are a whole host of temptations and stereotypes as to how the rock star lifestyle affects relationships. But that to me is the whole thrust of the song. Like, he's promising her, and it's I do think it's also significant that this is like one of the few songs that this guy did the vocals on, because that means he's really, really trying to say something to his lady. And so, and like I said, like, obviously where he was when he wrote that song and where he is now is, I think, different, because they look like they're getting along pretty good together. I can never lay my whole head down also indicates his inability to focus and commit to anything fully.
That kind of makes sense. You know,
that's
like,
also that's a good one.
Yeah.
He's indecisive.
That works too, because he says, I know I'm lazy, baby, but I'll work this time. If you're going with I'm going to work on myself, so he can't fully lay his head down.
Yeah. So that
makes sense.
He's indecisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ugh. I mean, what can you? That's But see, that's the thing. But if you don't recognize the frailty of what it means to be a human being, like, I was in a situation with a dude one time, and he was going through something with his lady, and he kept promising this lady, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to do this again. And I said, bro, because I knew where he was at. Because a third party can always, especially if they're friends and you know the person. I remember telling the homie, like, bro, don't say that. Don't make these definitive statements. Like, if you've got a character flaw that you're working on, do not make definitive promises to your mate, your significant other, that you're absolutely changed and that particular thing in your life is over. I think this is much better to say. Like, because this to me is more realistic. And what do you know? It looks like they worked it out, because he brought her on stage to, and she gave him a kiss or whatever, and the song was to her, it looks like. So it looks like they were able to work it out. But it's a very realistic song, though. It's not, I'm going to change and you change me, I'm going to be better, and I'm going to be the best I could possibly be. I will work this time. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I just think that's a wise way to prosecute your relationships, especially if you've got some sort of recurring thing that your mate is talking about that's bothering him or her.
Dwayne.
Huh?
I just thanked Dwayne.
I think it's really, really, really important to be realistic in the way you give promises.
I think I agree with what you're saying, but I do think at the same time that every person is different, and what they want to hear, what they need to hear in the moment is also different. So for some people, having somebody say, look, I'm trying this time, might actually piss them off more. Like, some people might want to hear something more definitive, like, okay, like, I'm going to change this, like, it's going to get better, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, something that's more solid. And so if you're that type of person, then you might think that that's the best thing to say to the other person. Because a lot of times that's how we prosecute things. Like, for instance, when you talk about love languages and the different love languages there are, if you're the type of person that gifts is your love language, then you give a lot of gifts to other people regardless of if that's their love language or not. And so in this situation, I think it's like that too. I think that some people don't want to hear, hey, I'm trying. They want to hear, no, this is going to change. There's going to be a difference. I promise that there's going to be a change. And so if that's the type of person they are, and that's what they want to hear, they want to hear that sort of like definitive, like, it's going to be different. Then they go and say that to somebody else, even if they don't have enough self-awareness to realize that they have not changed internally, and so they're going to keep getting the same results. Like you can only like BS your way for a span of time, and then who you are is who you are, and that's what comes out, and that's what people see. So, I think that sometimes people don't want to, you use definitive language because you don't want to lose something that you care about, and so you really don't want that. You feel like that person might do something extreme, and so you're saying, let me use some extreme language. I promise, blah, 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 when all the while you haven't done the internal work to change, so you have no basis for why you're making that promise, except that maybe it's coming from a place of, I think that sometimes people say stuff like that just to manipulate other people too. Saying those things makes somebody think that also, I gotta go back to the pre-chorus.
To manipulate themselves. Like I don't think that people have a very good self-understanding.
Yeah.
So they really truly believe. They're not, in their mind, they're not bullshitting. They really truly believe, okay, I'm gonna be different this time.
Well, yeah, because usually when someone's saying that, they're in the midst of dealing like with the consequence of their action.
100%.
And so they really, really hate that they got caught. They really hate that they're in the hot water, that they're in that uncomfortable situation. And so they make the promise from that place, because they're like, I'm never going to put myself in this position again. But if you don't do the work, you're going to put yourself in that position again. The pre-chorus said, do I have to shake you, babe, until you're blind, because every light bulb's blown and I'm feeling so inclined. That's kind of weird. Like, if you look at it in the... Okay, so if you shake somebody, like... I don't know. Like, the only thing that comes to mind is, like, shaking baby syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, you shake somebody until, like, they can't see. Then he's saying, because every light bulb is blown, and if you're saying, like, that's the ideas or that's the whatever, like, there's no light there. And he's saying, I'm feeling so inclined. Like, it almost kind of sounds like he doesn't want her to realize that every light bulb's blown. And so the only way that she wouldn't see that every light bulb was blown is if she was blind. But then he would have to hurt her or harm her to get her to that place, so she wouldn't see how fucked up the situation was. Yeah. And I've seen people do that too. I've seen people try to create, gaslight people and maneuver things and try to make the person feel so bad about themselves that they can't see a world outside of where they are, and they just kind of fold up inside that relationship and take abuse for years upon years upon years, and they don't come out of it. And the other person, knows what they're doing, but the person that's being blinded, in a sense, in the relationship, sometimes can't see it. And sometimes it takes somebody from the outside to say, hey, like, can you see what's happening here? But those situations that's difficult, because even if somebody from the outside points something out to you and you see it, you still have to come to that realization yourself, and you still have to do the work yourself to get out of that bad relationship. And sometimes that's extremely difficult to do. But I've seen it a bunch of times where if somebody from the outside tries to get somebody out of a bad relationship, but they haven't made the decision to go, they're going to go right back to where they started.
What do you give the song?
Oh, I really like this one, 9.8.
This is my song of the night, 9.8. There is one more song from the band Pearl Jam.
Actually, Vin out, Sori out, and before you start the commercial, I have to read something so we can take a poll.
Okay. Vin out.
Sori out.
Go.